And of course, those were some news highlights on our network. We're grateful that you stayed there to be part of the show. Our viewers across the country, thanks so much that you're watching us. This is News at 10, and we're starting with a big one. You're welcome back. Let's begin from the Electoral Commission because the Commission has outlined a 5-year strategic plan to enhance delivery of free and transparent elections. The Commission's chairperson, Charlotte Osei, said the plan is to create a world-class, trusted and independent electoral body.
The strategic plan will cover the years 2016 and 2020. The plan covers 5 key areas including the Commission's mandate, human, material and financial resources and technological drive. Mrs. Charlotte Osei said there are a number of issues which affected Commission's ability to efficiently deliver on its mandate and vision.
We just realized that, you know what, we've been operating for a few years now without a plan. So the deep process of engagement started. They talked to all the people that the Electoral Commission works with. They looked at previous election observation reports. They talked to our staff, they talked to political parties, they talked to governance institutions, security agencies, civil society, they talked to the EC commissioners, they talked to management, they talked to everyone who had anything to do with our work to find out what exactly should the EC be doing better, what are they doing well, what can they improve, what are the areas of strength, what are the areas of weaknesses. And then we started the process of aligning the findings and recommendations and consulting all our internal stakeholders and external stakeholders. We also looked at what are other electoral commissions doing. We studied the strategic plans of other electoral commissions. And the result is what we're presenting to you today.
According to the EC chairperson, the strategic plan is also to develop and maintain a relationship of trust and credibility with the citizenry, political parties, state institutions and other stakeholders. Mrs. Osei said the Commission's ability to communicate effectively has been challenged by the lack of adequate resources.
We came up with a new vision statement that the Electoral Commission of Ghana will be a benchmark in Africa for enabling independent, trusted, world-class democratic elections for the citizens of Ghana and all the candidates who take part in our elections. We came to the determination that our mission at the EC, our job, is to deliver on the electoral mandate, to enable and facilitate free and fair elections in Ghana and regulate the activities of all registered political parties.
The Commission launched a new website to improve its social media presence and engagement with the electorate. The program was attended by representatives of political parties, civil society organizations, the Peace Council and other stakeholders.
Dr. Kwabena Jonah, a senior research fellow of the Institute of Democratic Governance, has just joined me on the phone lines to take a look at the EC's 5-year strategic plan. Dr. Jonah, grateful for your time tonight.
Welcome.
Let's start this way. The Commission, some have raised concerns that it suffered some credibility loss after the election petition. Now, is this strategic plan what will redeem the image of the Commission, and how can this plan do that?
The strategic plan is not designed to redeem any image of the EC. The EC has operated for some time now without a strategic plan. The last strategic plan was completed some years ago, and they have not been able to put together another strategic plan up until now. Reason is that any time they need some kind of support from development partners, donors, and so on and so forth, they ask you, but what is your plan? What is your strategic plan? So, and it's not just for donors, it also helps the Ghana government to know exactly what development projections the EC has in mind, and therefore also how to support the EC. So it is not just because of the election petition of 2013 that the EC is now preparing a strategic plan. So it may restore, but that is not the main reason.
I see. But you have no doubt that the plan can, in a way, increase the trust, the credibility between the EC, the citizenry, and political parties?
Some sections of the political parties and some sections of the citizens, yes, I will say this. But among the generality of the Ghanaians, the EC, even though its popularity might have dropped, continues to enjoy considerable support.
I see. Let's quickly talk about one of the plans. One of the issues that the EC said it's want to deal with, that another plan, it hopes to implement the Representation of the People's Amendment Act. It's been quite a while where this act was passed, and yet we have never seen its implementation. Now, is this something that the EC can achieve, looking at the plan?
Yes. There's actually very little to be done before implementation can be carried out. Look, the act was passed many years ago under the Kufuor administration.
Right.
A few years later, a committee was set up, and I think I was a member of that committee, to work out the modalities for the implementation of the plan. When these two things are done, the question of implementation is only a matter of time. And you know that to be able to implement the Representation of the People's Amendment Act, you need some substantial amount of money. Look, basically, the law says Ghanaians living abroad have the right to register and vote. Registration costs money.
Right.
Exhibition of the register costs money. And even conducting the vote itself over there also costs money. So once the law has been passed, once the modalities have been worked out, it is up to the EC to determine at any particular point in time when it has adequate resources to be able to carry out. And this time around, on the strategic plan, they are determined to do exactly that.
I see. Also, again, the EC is talking about going tough on political parties, particularly on the political parties law, which was passed in 2000. And the EC says that it is seeking to govern, ask these parties to obey rules regulating their operations. Perhaps you again suggesting that this plan will give the EC teeth to indeed bite if these parties go wrong.
Yes, I agree that the EC should implement all the laws concerning political parties, laws and regulations concerning political parties. But here, I would advise a little bit of caution. Look, what laws, particular laws are we talking about? There are two of them. One of them says that the parties should submit regular accounts, two types of accounts, one every year to the EC and one after every election. The other one says that political parties, every political party should, before it gets registered, have in each region, have offices in 2/3 of the districts in every single one of Ghana's 10 regions.
Right.
These are very tough requirements. And to be very, very frank with you, much as I believe in the rule of law that the EC should be able to enforce all the laws, I think we should tread a bit cautiously as far as this is concerned. You see, if a rigid enforcement of this law would mean, for example, that 90% of the parties will be abolished, it will be very, very unfortunate.
I see.
Finally, very, very unfortunate.
Great. Finally, the logo that created so much debate in public is finally been given the green light. It's the logo of the Electoral Commission. Let me pick your reaction to the logo and perhaps the explanation given by the chairperson of the commission that the commission saw it, liked it, and picked it. And if there's anything that has to do with legal issues, of course, she's asking the party involved to, the institution involved to simply go the legal way.
First of all, when the logo came, what I heard was that, hey, Kwesi, the UC has gone to steal a Turkish education institution's logo, and so on and so forth. Today, when I listened to the chair of the commission, this is, they didn't steal it from anywhere. This is a creation of the UC itself, and the explanation behind the logo makes an awful lot of sense. Participation, transparency, and so on and so forth. I didn't hear any of these stories that have been going around that they have gone to steal a Turkish education institution's logo. But for now, I think everybody who went to today's function is convinced that it makes a lot of sense to adopt this kind of logo. If a Turkish education institution thinks that somebody has plagiarized its logo, well, they can go ahead and seek legal redress. But for now, I think most of the people who attended to this function are very, very, very satisfied with the explanations that were given.
Dr. Jonah, I'm grateful for your time tonight.
Good night.
He is a senior research fellow at the Institute of Democratic Governance, Dr. Kwabena Jonah, talking to me there on the EC's 5-year plan and the way forward. He said the plan is simply one that has not been there for some time, and it is not to redeem the image of the commission, but simply to have a plan to work with. We'll delve deeper into that issues more. But let's also try and pick some thought from David Owusu. He is the Executive Director of the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security. Very soon he will join me on the phone lines, and we'll take one word or two from him on the plan and particularly the acceptance of the logo. David has just joined me on the phone. David, grateful for your time tonight, but let me start from here. Now, Dr. Kwabena Jonah is suggesting that the plan is simply not to redeem the image of the commission after the election petition in 2012, but it is just a plan that the commission need to work with as far as its dealings with, for instance, international donors is concerned. What do you make of that?
Yes, right. Thank you so much. I think I share the same, sentiments or views with Dr. Kwabena Jonah. I mean, normally a strategic plan, as we were taught in strategic management, it's about putting in some document that will be able to serve the interests of the organization with regards to how the international viewers will also be able to make some kind of meaningful contribution to your organization. So normally every organization deserves to have a strategic plan that tends to give a direction and give some level of confidence to the entire stakeholders that this is a plan, this is quite a plan that needs to be tabled for people to be able to appreciate the fact that an organization is of an essence of a continuity, and the organizational plan or the strategic plan gives some kind of vision and aspiration to the organization that this is the way things are going to be done. And so you realize that it is tailored to meet the internal structures of the organization and also support the fact that international viewers also have a share as far as the organizational plan is quite concerned. So if you are submitting any proposal for funding, they will actually look for your strategic plan, and so that they will be able to measure it, whether it is something doable. And so strategic plans are very important for any moving organization all over the world. And so when you are preparing a strategic plan, you need to do an internal assessment, which the lady made mention of it, that they have done some kind of SWOT analysis, which talks about the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats of the organization. And so if you are able to do all those assessments, then you'll be able to look at whether the structures of your organization has the requisite qualification, or they have the human being which will be able to manage the affairs of the organization, and to be able to give a certain level of confidence to your stakeholders. So I think that it is a good one that the Electoral Commission is trying to bring in some, if I could say, strategic plan, because they used to have one which actually expired in 2009. So it's a good one. Okay,
David, I'm grateful. Guess you made your point, David. I'm grateful for your time. David Owusu is the Executive Director of the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security there, talking to me about the EC's 5-year strategic plan and the final approval of its logo.